Welcome back. You're watching Newsx. My name is Neet. Neet, India's largest medical entrance examination, is set for a major transformation from next year as it moves towards a computer-based test format. The significant change will replace the long-standing pen and paper system with a fully digital examination process, aligning Neet with several other major competitive exams that have already adopted computer-based testing. The government has officially announced that the Neet UG 2026 re-examination will be conducted on the 21st of June following concerns raised after the earlier exam cycle. Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan stated that the centre accepts the concerns of the students and reiterated zero tolerance to malpractices under what he termed the Fight Against Pariksha Mafia initiative. Well, this shift is expected to improve transparency, reduce operational errors and modernize the examination process for lakhs of medical aspirants. For students, the biggest change will be the exam interface and mode of answering questions. The combination of immediate corrective measures and long-term digital reform signals a major overhaul in India's medical entrance system. Meanwhile, CBI has arrested a Pune-based chemistry lecturer for his alleged role as the kingpin behind the question paper leak that led to the cancellation of the 2026 Neet undergraduate entrance examination, claiming that the man leaked the questions to several aspirants during a secret tuition session. We'll talk about this and a lot more concerning Neet. Joining us on the top of this program is Mr. Anil Kumar Nayak, National President of the Indian Medical Association. Mr. Nayak, appreciate you joining us, sir. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir, for being here. Well, it's a very good initiative. If it's a computer-based online examination, then the leak problems, which not only Neet but a slew of other entrance exams have faced in the past, will be eliminated. But the big question that comes to my mind as a journalist is that why wasn't this thought up earlier?
That is not of my purview, but as they might have think this is a big examination, more than 22 lakh students are appearing in this examination. So it won't be possible because of the logistic support and infrastructure. But such type of problem occurring 2 times in last 4 years by exam taken by National Testing Authority, NTA. That's why they might say, yesterday we wrote to the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan ji that there should be decentralization of the examination, means infrastructure and support from the state government, education and home department should be there, because NTA will not able to do such thing of prevention of the leaking of the paper or any malpractices. So we have asked to take the support of the state government for management of the paper will be published by the Neet, and in online we have to give the paper before half an hour or 15 minutes. That will be enough, because more than 551 cities and more than 5,500 centers are there, and 40 centers are out of the country. So if physical paper you have to send it before 2 days in foreign countries also. So that's why we suggested online examination. So that is a good move by the central government, that they have accepted our demand and agreed to do a computer based examination from next time. So there I durastai. That is the thing, thanks, sir.
And sir, it is an extremely competitive exam. When something like this happens, the leak takes place. The aspirants are obviously not only dejected, but there is also a question mark on the entire system. How do you think infusing technology and now even artificial intelligence into this examination modules is likely to benefit everyone?
Yes, sir. We have an advanced security and technological safeguarding to prevent such thing if exam is online. So that is good thing, sir. But government have accepted it because physical paper is more and more touching every year. The strength of the student will increase. Those who are not able to get the admission will try for re-examination of the Neet. So this time 22.5 lakh students are there. Next time it is more than 23 lakhs. So student will increase. But if we give physically, so there are chances and apprehension in the mind of the students and the parents, because this time they are in the high stress and hardship. Their parents are also, because they have performed their best on 3rd May. But unfortunately, this incident occurred, and I am thankful to the government for accepting that paper is leaked, because since last 4 or 5 days before cancellation of the exam, it is on the social media and printing media and electronic media. It was running, the paper is leaking, but government had not accepted. But recently they have accepted there is a chances of leak more than 150 questions are same. So they have accepted, therefore they have asked for the apology by the NTA and government education minister Dharmendra Pradhan ji. So that is good thing. But online exam will prevent more than 95% of security to the patient. So we also request they use the advanced security technology and safeguard to prevent such type of incidents. And transparency is most important. So if you give a transparency, then and then public will trust you. Otherwise, people will not trust such type of exam.
Fair enough, sir. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time. All right, also joining us on the show at this point in time is Dr. Indraneel Deshmukh, National Secretary, IMA, Junior Doctors Network. With us on the show is also Padma Shri Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Chairman of Nephron Clinics. Arshita Kapoor, Career Counsellor, joins us on the program. Satyajit Datta, Senior Vice President, Innovative View India Limited, is with us on the program. And last but not the least, we'll also speak to Suhan, who's a Neet aspirant from Narayanpur in Jaipur. Dr. Bagai, I'll begin with you, sir. We have spoken about this in the past as well, sir, but infusion of technology to make sure that these leaks do not happen and the highest standard of purview as well as review are undertaken by the Ministry of Education is something which should have been done yesterday. But like they say in Hindi, der aaye durust aaye.
Good evening. So there are 4 quick points. The first of all, we have more than 22 or 23 lakh students appearing for about 1.28 lakh medical seats of MBBS, which gives you a percentage success of approximately 3.5–4%. That's crazy, isn't it? Point number 2, most of the seats, almost 45 to 50% of the seats in some form or the other, either quota or reservation or OBC or ST or SC, backward tribes, is reserved. So the number of seats which are actually available for open merit for really good candidates is approximately 2%. That's even more crazier. So this is a major structural and security flaw. Now, when you talk in terms of more than 140 to 150 questions leaked out of a possible 180, the full system has collapsed. I want you to point towards the mental stress and the agony of the young students who are prepared. A lot of them have prepared well and have suffered because of the few mischievous lot who have leaked this paper mindfully and willfully. This is a crime of the greatest degree. The fact is that quota has turned out to be a death trap. More than 2.5 lakh students just gather there as congregation. We've had more than some years 26 suicides in a year in quota. Why are we not looking at what mental state we are subjecting these students to? The amount of pain, the stress, the anxiety, the depression which these students will go through. And then they are trying to join MBBS, one route or the other route. The logistic issues of paper distribution, pen and paper, there is bound to be, the system is bound to be porous. The coaching centers have made class 9, 10, 11, 12 redundant. I think the school should close down, isn't it? You have given no weightage at all to the students who have done really well in school. The full emphasis is on coaching and tutors. I mean, the coaching classes have become a most flourishing business, and they are the most highly unregulated part of the medical education. I want the government to pay attention to this. I would probably like 25% marks given for class 10, 25 for 11, 25% for class 12, and 25% weightage for an entrance exam. How on earth is a multiple choice question over 2 to 3 hours going to decide the entire career and life of any student? That is the most absurd thing I have ever seen. If multiple choice questions can decide the career for a medical aspirant, then we all should stop practicing medicine. Medicine is not multiple choice questions. It's a completely disproportionate and such outdated Jurassic Park syllabus. I want someone to explain to me in India. I've been in medicine for the last 42, 43 years, and I've run reasonably well. How is plant biology, zoology, and other things related to the human body? I want someone to explain to me why is so much pressure of unnecessary facts and figures and such ridiculous outdated syllabus being shoved down the throat of young students. I want reservation to go. I want Neet to become online, but Neet should not be the only sole deciding criteria for young medical aspirants. I want children to enjoy the youth, to enjoy the high school. This should not become a torture chamber. It has become a most ridiculous thing in which children are coming under so much of stress. Pay to the mental stress of these young students. Pay attention to it. We don't want small bonsai memorizing robots being produced. We want good students coming in who understand, who have knowledge, not just passing a forged or a fake or a leaked NEET exam. Over to you.
You've made some strong points there, sir. Let me also get a reaction to what you have said from Dr. Deshmukh as well. Dr. Deshmukh, obviously the system needs an overhaul. The system needs to be, to be put through the realities of today's time. And like Dr. Bagai said, that this is perhaps a system which does not produce the right results. It produces candidates, it produces doctors, but it does not produce them in the way it should be producing it, considering the times we live in, sir.
So thank you so much. So rightly said by Bagai sir. But in this case, IMA Junior Doctors Network is, first of all, is really disappointed. Means more than 22 lakhs aspirants are giving this exam. But why this is happening only in the NEET? You compare it with the UPSC exam. This comparison is being made by many students and parents. And it is important to understand the structural differences. The UPSC examination system has evolved over decades with extremely stringent security protocols, layered confidentiality, and institutional independence. Although UPSC also conducts examination for lack of the candidates, and the operational scale of NEET is far larger in terms of examination center and simultaneous logistics. Like Nayak sir has already said that we have 22 lakh candidates who given the examination, thousands of centers across India, multiple administrative agencies are there, massive transportation and printing logistics are required. And such scale increases the vulnerability if strong digital safeguards are not implemented. Another important point is that the NEET remain predominantly paper-based, whereas many high-stake examinations globally are gradually moving towards the secured-based models. Today, our Honorable Minister sir has announced about the computer-based examination. But why we wait for so many years? Means even this happened, this situation was there 2 years back. When IMA headquarters, Dr. Nayak sir was the secretary, Dr. Ashokan sir was the national president, he demanded they intervened for the CBI inquiry. In that time also, we were waiting for the investigation. Many things were ongoing, but we don't know. Means NEET UG aspirant don't know.
Yeah, okay, I get your point. I get your point. Let me also bring in Arshita Kapoor, career counselor, into this conversation. Arshita, now Dr. Bagai has made some strong points. I'm going to pivot from that and get a reaction from you as well. What are these coaching institutions doing? This is obviously something that needs to be put in a prism in terms of figuring out how do they help, if not complicate the situation for a student looking to be a doctor.
So there's a huge number of coaching institutions that have started to sell their product from class 6 onwards. So these kids are not preparing 2 years back. They've been preparing since they were literally 11 years old. So it's actually been a very, very long time that they have been preparing for this. When the government announces that they are going to go digital, I don't think the impact is just directly on yes, it's a great thing, it should happen, but the impact is on the student, where they have been preparing for a written exam for about 5 years already. Now the system changes and everybody is not as well resourced as, a certain person, which means that everybody might not have an access to a laptop every day or to all kind of technology. How are they going to be able to practice that exam every day to be able to be at par with the other students who have those resources? So I feel like there is a digital divide when something like this happens, which is something that we need to be very cautious of. The other thing that's very important here is that when we change a paper from being a written test to a digital exam, then the format is actually completely changing. So if a student is not used to taking something that is, consistently getting harder, for example, then are they going to be able to do that in the next year? Do we know what the paper is going to look like? Do we know what the format is going to look like? And are we going to know well in time? So is this going to be a disadvantage to the people who cannot afford the coaching, cannot afford the laptops, or just cannot afford to kind of get that information well in time? So yes, the coaching institutes are problematic, but they are also the sole providers of information and learning to a lot of students. They are giving a lot of students information and teaching them something that our teachers have not been able to do. So I think there's two sides of the story. They look bad, they might not be the best, but what is the solution if they do not exist? Do we have parents who can teach our kids this syllabus? But I love what Dr. Bagai said about having to do class 10, class 12 and using like 25% of that, because that seems to be very, very fair, because our teachers are anyway teaching our kids how to be studying that, but none of the schools are teaching the kids how to study for NEET. So you do need to go out, you do need to use the coaching institutes to be able to succeed if you wish to in the NEET exam or any other competitive exam. So I think it's a double whammy for sure.
Okay, let me also bring in Satyajit Datta, Senior Vice President of Innovative View India Limited. Mr. Datta, obviously NEET has its own problems, it has its own concerns. The recommendations that have been made so aptly on this conversation obviously have a lot to do with policy as well. Yeah, and you know how policies move in our country. That is a slow moving horse. But considering the fact that we live in an era of AI, how can these leaks be prevented, and how can these exams become foolproof to an extent that our trust in this classification and this examination is also foolproof?
Good evening, everyone. See, speaking in my current capacity as an SVP Business Development with Innovative View India Limited, I heard my fellow speakers and I do welcome all those suggestions or the valid points actually tabled, I would say. But if we talk about how we secure these exams, as that's your question now. So first of all, while I say that I welcome and appreciate, the announcement made by our Honorable Minister of Education, and the announcement has been made that from 2027 they're going to move it into computer-based testing. But while we welcome this, there's an important question. My question might be different to what my fellow speakers have asked, and my important question is, as a country, are we fully prepared to conduct an examination of NEET UG scale in CBT mode? So, there has to be a solution, and a solution is welcome. It's an examination reform that we are talking about. But when we are talking about 22, 23 lakh candidates for such a scale, CBT examination won't be just simply about putting computers in rooms and you say you conduct an exam. So we actually require secure, standardized, permanent, audited, high quality examination infrastructure across the country. And even if I take a very conservative number, we are talking about building 2 lakh such seats, bare minimum 2 lakh such seats, if we expect to, complete a NEET UG examination over 2 weekends. The assumptions are 2 lakh seats with 3 shifts per day. I know this sounds too tacky, but again, I'm just saying, that's why I said the 2 lakh number need to improve. Why I'm saying all this? See, there's a solution given, but today we all understand and appreciate that the challenge about these CBT centers is both qualitative and quantitative. Neither we have that many number of seats available today, and in whichever form we have those fragmented so-called test centers or those testing labs, they don't give me that solution, and going in a CBT mode might be a bigger havoc or a bigger challenge for the government and rather for the entire country. Now, when we are saying we need to implement CBT, which is the only solution to secure examinations, okay, that's the only solution. I agree. But without adequate permanent infrastructure, we can't go ahead. And I would say the country already has a solution in place. That's why I said, in my capacity with the role I play in Innovative View India Limited, we already have a solution in place. And that is, a case study model that I would like to talk here about. The Bihar case study. Bihar has developed, the Bihar government I am referring, has developed Adarsh Pariksha Kendras, which are 12,000 odd seats, okay, which are absolutely government controlled, secure, standardized test centers for CBT, and almost close to 1 CR candidates are taking CBT examinations in the state of Bihar, only utilizing that government controlled test centers or Adarsh Pariksha Kendras. So that's why I said that Bihar is already a live example, and I would request the government to actually replicate the same PPP model across the entire country, and we need to make those Adarsh Pariksha Kendras in the entire country across all districts.
All right,
and
fair
states.
enough. I understand and I appreciate where you're coming from, Mr. Datta. Let's also hear it from a Neet aspirant, Suhan, who's with us. Let's see what he has to say. He's assimilated what everyone has said on this show. People have brought in all kinds of suggestions and solutions to a problem. Suhan, if you can hear me.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Suhan, what are the issues you have faced? Of course, apart from the fact that the recent most leak has broken faith for a lot of students.
Yes, sir. So, as we all know, NEET is a highly competitive exam, and like Bagai sir said, that it is only a 3-hour exam. A 3-hour exam is deciding your entire future, your entire fate. For many students, it is a lot of pressure. For even me, it is a whole lot of pressure. You prepare for 2 years only to show your performance for 3 hours. In that 3 hours, you either score the marks, fill the OMR correctly, get good college, or you just fail in life. So it's a lot of pressure, sir, for students. And other than that,
so what do you think should change, Suhan? You have made a very important, compelling point that 3 hours should not decide the fate of a student. Dr. Bagai has a point. Let's listen into him. Dr. Bagai, go on.
Very quickly, Vineet, we can't make the educational system redundant. We have to give, I'm repeating it, we have to give some sort of significant weightage to your high school and 11th and 12th. After all, that's your educational base. The full onus and dependency has gone into, the commercials have gone into coaching classes. I'm absolutely clear, medicine is not multiple choice. 3 hours don't decide a career. It has to be an aptitude over many years which actually pick up the talent for medical. When you are dealing with a 500-gram preterm fighting for his or her life in a newborn ICU, multiple choice questions don't pick up talent. When you are dealing with a life and death situation, your best fighter pilots fly the Rafale, not the ones who come under reserved quota. Please understand this point. We are dealing with human beings. We are dealing with human souls. We are dealing with people who are highly stressed. We can't make our workforce in the medical fraternity flogged out of shape, stressed out of shape, and then you have compromised results. Last point I want to make is, when integrity becomes negotiable, then we are going to have poor results. That cannot be negotiated. You have a system which is fractured. You have leaks which are so porous that the rivers can flow out of it. 150 questions out of 180 are leaked. What are we going to produce? We are going to produce third-grade doctors. Are the policymakers going to go to that grade of doctors to get their own family members treated? When you are asking for a acute bypass surgery or a neuro intervention, are you going to ask a student by choice from a reserve quota? Medicine has to be on merit. The selection has to be systematically sensible, not destroyed like it is at the present moment. Over to you.
Fair enough, sir. Appreciate everybody who joined in, and we have been able to assimilate a whole lot of good points concerning the future as well as the realities of NEET. We'll take a short break now. Be right back.